Hi, my name is Sarita Gibbons, and I'm the owner for Comprehensive Grants Management. Comprehensive Grants Management is a grant writing firm with an average 65% grant writing success rate. We work with organizations all over the country and we assist them to apply for their grant funding. Today, I want to talk to you about how applicants must strategize. You must strategize. You're going to ask me, how do I strategize? Well, sometimes you can win the grant once, or sometimes you only win the grant once. It's kind of like if you bought a lottery ticket. Well, if you buy one lottery ticket and you win, you only won that jackpot once. But if you buy a lottery ticket and win, and you bought another lottery ticket, you will have the opportunity to win the jackpot again. And so it is with grant funding opportunities. If you apply and win, that is great. You can apply again and win. Not because a grant says it's a one-time fund means you can only win once. You can only win that time once. Because sometimes you can submit two applications for a grant and even win that grant twice in the first round. But I don't really mean to confuse you. So, as the grant writing subject matter expert, I want to make it as simple as possible for you. So, I'm going to give you a case study. The case study is the 2019 Emergency Safety and Security Grant. This grant is from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And actually, this grant is a one-time fund if you apply and win just once. So how you want to strategize so that you can actually apply and win this grant multiple times over is to peel away the layers of that onion and dive a little deeper into the grant. So what the grant says is that you can apply and win the grant for every development that you have once. But sometimes an applicant, and for this grant, the 2019 Emergency Safety and Security Grant, the eligible applicant is only a public housing authority with a public housing development. So sometimes a public housing authority has one development, two development, three development, four development, and even more sometimes. But we'll stop it at four developments, okay? So if you have four public housing developments, you actually have the opportunity to win this grant, and this grant is $250,000. You actually have the opportunity to win up to $250,000 for as many developments as you have one time. So when people read this is a one-time funding, they put all of their developments in the application, apply for the $250,000. They get it, but then they're stuck. They have to use the $250,000 over as many public housing developments that they have. You don't want to do that. You want to strategize. So what you want to do for application one, the first time that you go after this $250,000 is for number one, you can name any development number one. You may even use the development that is in the most need, okay? So the development that is in the most need, you apply for that one development the first time, and you can spend the $250,000 on fencing, lighting, windows, doors, camera system, security signage, all these different types of security equipment and the labor to install the security equipment. That is all you can spend this $250,000 on. So what do you want to do? Maybe you need $50,000 worth of fencing. Maybe you need $100,000 worth of lighting. Maybe you need $100,000 worth of camera systems. That's $250,000. That's just for one development. So if you use this $250,000 for all your development, you have to spread this $50,000 over all your developments. Your developments are all over the city. If you have a scattered site, those are individual houses that you have to do fencing, lighting, and cameras for. That becomes very expensive. So you definitely want to strategize. For the 2019 Emergency Safety and Security Grant, you can win this grant funding multiple times. If you apply, multiple times, but go into it very strategically. Remember, for this year, they increased it from $5 million, which was what Congress allocated $5 million to the program last year. They doubled it this year. This year, it's $10 million. That means a lot more applicants will get this grant award. Therefore, you must take full advantage of this funding opportunity. Strategize. This is how you can strategize. Go into each funding round with one development, buy as many things as you need for that one development. Fencing, lighting, camera systems, windows, doors, deadbolt locks, signage, do not disturb, keep out, no loitering. Make sure you fully utilize this grant funding because you can only get it once per development. So maximize this grant funding and strategize and go in one at a time so that you don't spread yourself too thin if you apply to serve all of your public housing developments. So this is one case study of how you can strategize with available grant funding. And I will give you more ways to strategize in the upcoming sessions. So strategize in your grant applications. Applicants must strategize to enable these grant awards to make the maximum benefit for you, your programs, and your organization. So the key here is strategize.